Hello StarCraft fans, this is Falcon Paladin coming to you with yet another weekly edition of Into the Void. This is LmpySpaceCat versus Forklift on Lerlilak Crest. Alright, in the bottom right of Lerlilak Crest we have the red Protoss player, it is LmpySpaceCat. And in the top left of Lerlilak Crest we have the blue Zerg player, it is Forklifter. So a ZVP here. In my weekly edition of Into the Void, if you don't know what this is a Silver or Bronze League replay. I will do one of these every single week on Friday, so look forward to that if you're interested in this sort of thing. If you're only looking for Pro or GM level replays, this might not be the place for you, but this is where we learn to be a better player and laugh at the same time. Alright, so here comes our Protoss player getting gas here as well as a pylon, but I don't see a gateway coming up yet at all. He's sending a probe out, and he did scout down here, did not see the Zerg player, instead heading on out, and is he... I don't know why he has gas if he's not getting a gateway. I mean, I like the scout here with the probe, that's nice. There's obviously a hatch first here, yep, hatch first into an extractor, into a spawning pool, so fairly standard safe build here from Forklifter. He knows what he's doing, and again, I say this every week, but it's so true. Bronze level, silver level players in StarCraft, they know more than they used to back in Wings of Liberty. Legacy of the Void players know what they're supposed to be doing, what makes them different from players of higher level. And as a Forge, oh my goodness, it's a cannon rush coming out here from LmpySpaceCat. What I was going to say is, what sets him apart from players that are better is the inability to make good decisions, to keep up macro, and have their micro on spot. So those are the three things they're kind of missing, but they have the general idea here, as again you can see from the hatchery. And here come some drones on the way out. 4 drones to kill a pylon, that's about what you would want there. 4 drones to kill a cannon as well, is also fairly standard. And here come, this pylon's not doing anything, another pylon. LmpySpaceCat is investing a lot of money into these pylons. The drones go back to work. Production tab shows 6 lings on the way for LmpySpaceCat. And indeed, this pylon should fall immediately. They should also try to kill that probe. But I guess first things first, getting rid of this pylon. It could also be a photon overcharge rush with a mothership core coming across here, but that's not anything that LmpySpaceCat is doing. Instead, using cannons to defend, throwing down a gateway over here. Can the Zerg player see this? He can now. Lings are up. And they're going after the gateways, trying to get that probe first, and they do manage to snipe down the probe, trying to sneak in there, double cancel on those gateways, and the pylon gonna fall here as well. So the resources lost tab is not looking good for our friend LmpySpaceCat. 324 minerals lost for nothing. Nothing lost for Forklifter. Just doing the standard build here, what exactly Forklifter wants to be doing, getting lings out. Probably should be getting speed here at some point, but has been really busy dealing with those pylons and those gateways. A little bit thrown off his game. And also, check this out, supply blocked. So, again, as a Protoss player, I guess even if your cannons don't do anything or you don't get gateways up where you thought you would, I'm pretty sure Forklifter could see those gateways from the creep. Although the vision from the creep is not very far. If we take a look here, I think it might have caught an edge here. Yeah, anyway, the point is, it really threw Forklifter off his game, and so you'll see it's 21 Harvesters to 21 now. LmpySpaceCat is keeping up on this one base play, getting gateways, getting another cannon. Why are you getting a cannon right here, LmpySpaceCat? I love you. I'm not going to get angry. I'm just saying, putting a cannon right there makes no sense at all, unless you're worried about mutas coming your way in the next 2 minutes, which is impossible. There's no way Forklifter is doing that to you, and even then, you should probably put your cannon in the mineral line rather than right here. This is probably like the least optimal place to put a cannon. I mean, over here at least, maybe you're dealing with overlords that are coming in, and ling drops, maybe, if that's happened to you before, but, I mean, weird place for a cannon. 3 cannons here is way too many. 1 will hold off a number of Zerglings that try to get up here. 2 is definitely going to hold off as many, and 3 is just like, I fear for my life. So I got 3 cannons. Double Stargate. Whoa! Alright, so LmpySpaceCat goes from Cannon Rush into defending with cannons into double Stargate off of 1 base here. Double Assimilator here with 3 workers on each. Now the question is Forklifter going to be ready for this? Oh, definitely a Spore Crawler coming up. I like that. And again, I do say this a lot, but when in doubt as Zerg, if you don't know what the Protoss player is doing, get a Spore Crawler in each mineral line. It will detect against Dark Templars, which is awesome. It will take down Oracles, which is awesome. It'll help you with Void Rays, which is awesome. It gets rid of Phoenix, which is also awesome. There are a lot of things that Protoss can do to you if you don't have Spore Crawlers in your mineral line, and it will hurt a lot. So just do it. Also Scout. I would also recommend that forklifter do some scouting here. He is sending overlords out. This guy's hanging out, should probably be heading to the left. Just keep those guys active. It takes a long time for them to actually get anywhere. And so we need to get them started as soon as possible. You know the Protoss isn't here. You know the Protoss isn't here. And otherwise, you are blind. So you know the base is down here. If you know the maps at all, you should know this is the only other place the Protoss player could be. So send those overlords on in. And it looks like a double... Yeah, here we go. So chrono boosting out one Oracle. The other Stargate cannot be chrono boost because there's only one Nexus on the field. But double Oracle coming up. This is kind of reminiscent of old dude going mass Oracle. And one of my earlier casts here, one of my earlier Bronze League casts. And it was surprisingly effective, to be honest. Forklifter is just about to finish his lair. Wow, Void Ray and Phoenix coming up with +1 air weapons. LmpySpaceCat going one base air, ladies and gentlemen. Will it be successful? Will it not? We will have to wait and see. I like this 2 base here from Forklifter. Probably should be taking a third. A lot of roaches on the ground. That's not going to help at all against these air units. The only saving grace that Forklifter has is this queen and the fact there are spore crawlers in each of the mineral lines. He has no other anti-air to speak of. An infestation pit coming up. 6-minute infestation pit. What is your APM? Okay, so about 60. That's all right. Throwing down. What the stasis ward location is that? Stasis ward location here. So if any lings decide to run to this corner of the base for reasons unknown, they will get stasised in there. Stasis traps nearby enemies in stasis for 21 seconds, cannot attack or be attacked. Coming to the safety of the Spore Crawler. Spore Crawlers do really well against Oracles. However, they're trying to use their Pulsar Beam to take down this Spore Crawler. Can they get it before it finishes building? Answer is no, losing one Oracle, lifting one of the Queens here, so it cannot help it. The Spore Crawler's hitting that Phoenix as well. The Spore Crawler is going to be down to 20 hit points, and no, Transfuse keeps it alive. Clutch Transfuse. Now there are 2 Spore Crawlers here, which is even more effective against all this air that LmpySpaceCat is going for. More Void Rays, 2 in production, already 2 out. Is this a mass Void Ray off of 1 base play? Alright, pro tip for everybody here watching who's Protoss. You can do this off of 2 bases and be very safe. The Void Ray does actually kill the Queen and the Spore Crawler with 15 points remaining. Oh, wow. Hydra's on the way for Forklifter, though. Absolutely smart play. Gotta get Hydras. And the Stasis Ward actually works. The Stasis Ward catches the Hydralisks in stasis for 21 seconds. They cannot move, attack, or be damaged in any way. But they also cannot attack this Void Ray. That's going to go ahead and snipe down the hatchery. Oh no, another pro tip. If someone is attacking your hatchery, you can cancel it. You'll get a refund. It's not a full refund on your hatch. It's like 225 minerals instead of 300. But it will get your money back into your pocket. You can use it for other stuff. If this just dies straight up, you lost those 300 minerals and do not have it to spend later on. It's very sad indeed. Why are more cannons coming up? More defensive cannons. LmpySpaceCat is apparently worried that these roaches are going to come kill him straight up, which, I mean, with the photon overcharge available here on this mothership core that energizes the target pylon's Kadarian crystal, turning it into a powerful long-range weapon for 11 seconds that deals 30 damage. I mean, that's pretty damaging indeed. Meanwhile, Void Ray is going right after the spawning pool. This is why I like to put the spawning pool a little bit closer to the hatchery so that it can cover it with Spore Crawlers. But the Void Ray is backing on out. LmpySpaceCat doing damage, pulling out, maybe attacking from here at the same time. That would be a nice move. No, but half of it though. Half of it's good. Forcing Forklifter's army up here to the base and then running away so you don't take any hits at all while attacking down here. Look at this. Not many defending units. I guess there are some Hydras right at the front door. But Forklifter, man. Woo, 97 to 55 total supply. This aerial harass is doing some damage to our Zerg player, but the Zerg player remains unfazed. Ladies and gentlemen, Void Ray does take out another hatcher. You can cancel it, I promise. And there's the cancel. Oh, nicely done. 225 minerals come back into your pocket. Such a great feeling. A Roach Hydra army against the Skytoss. It makes sense. I like it. I like what Forklifter is doing. Continuing to macro up, has 34 drones. Maybe not as many as you would expect here, and backing on out again is LmpySpaceCat. Drone going to try to take this base again, but guess what? Void Ray. And the hatchery is going to die. The hatchery dies! Oh no! Full 300 mineral lossage there. Oh, very sad for everybody involved here. What do the Void Rays want to kill now? They're going to take down this Spore Crawler. Is there a Transfuse available? There is a Transfuse available. Oh man! Taking out one Void Ray just with the Spore Crawler and the Queen. What a combination. What a potent combination against air units. The Hydra's flanking around the right side. Nowhere to run for the Void Ray, and it dies. Excellent positioning here. Again, it might have been on accident, but coming up the right side basically means the Void Ray has nowhere to retreat to. If it goes this way, it's stuck. right? There's nowhere to go here. It needs to go this way, but the Hydra's in the way, prevented that from being the case. So LmpySpaceCat is holding on to a bunch of money, really should be expanding. That's what these cannons do, right? The cannons say, all right, I'm safe in my main base, no worries. But they don't let you expand because you don't have those cannons out here. And you feel unsafe, you don't ever expand, you start to mine out of your main base. That's something new in Legacy of the Void, if you're new to this expansion, is the bases mine out more quickly. You start with more workers, but also the bases mine out faster than they did in Heart of the Swarm. So you need to expand so much more fast than you did in Heart of the Swarm or Wings of Liberty. A base here like 8 minutes ago would have been pretty good. For LmpySpaceCat, you can do this on 2 bases. You can defend against Zerg in the early game with 2 Nexus, especially with this Photon Overcharge ability. Just put a couple cannons up, a couple pylons up, and then you can defend against Ling attacks and Roach attacks and be very happy indeed. There's no reason to stick on 1 base at all in Legacy of the Void. LmpySpaceCat getting double Nexuses here. Some workers ready to go as soon as these guys finish. I mean, these technically count as idle workers, but I guess considering the fact these are overmined patches of minerals here, not hurting much to have them sit out doing nothing right now. Forklifter is spreading creep pretty well. I like this, taking the north and the south approaches. Going up here would also be fantastic, but you know what? This is silver level. I'm not going to critique it too much. And Forklifter getting a hive. Look at Forklifter. Forklifter likes tech. Tech is awesome, and hive tech for Zerg's pretty good as well. Losing an Overseer there. The Voiders are trying to kill as many roaches as they can before the Hydras get into position. The Hydras do not have the Muscular Augments upgrade. Definitely... Oh, wait. Yes, he does. Does he? No, he was on creep. Yeah, no boost. Alright, so Muscular Augments is right in the Hydralisk Den, which is here, and it increases the movement speed while off creep for Hydras by 25% and their attack range by 1. It's so awesome. It makes Hydras so much better, although they can catch Voiders if they're on creep. The Voiders running for their lives. This guy trying to stand in and fight, that's a bad idea. Boom. Losing a Voider there again. Again, the control is what sets these players apart. Hydras are pretty much the perfect unit to deal with anti-air that are Void Rays, at least in these numbers, for Zerg versus Protoss. So again, be very careful if you're a Protoss and you're going with a few Void Rays against a Zerg that has Hydras. Is not going to end well for you. 30 Hydras are here against 2 Void Rays, a Phoenix, and a Warp Prism. LmpySpaceCat has now expanded twice. It is now officially 3 base to 3 base. LmpySpaceCat with 30 workers compared to 34 drones. He's done a pretty good job making workers and making pylons. I haven't seen LmpySpaceCat get supply blocks, really, at any point. Void Rays coming in again. They're trying to burn down this hatch for, I think, the 3rd time. Changing their target, going after the Spore Crawler, and going after Spore Crawler number 2, but that buys time for the hatch. I think the hatchery would have fallen if the Void Rays had just focused it down, but instead, they went after the Spore Crawlers, and they didn't end up getting the hatch, and they lost a Void Ray in the process. Oh man, this is not looking good for LmpySpaceCat at all. Mining here pretty well, not really making any more workers. Again, it's hard to remember to make workers when you have this many Nexus. But if you hotkey all of your Nexus onto a single hotkey, which has been done, look at this, on hotkey 5, and then you just hit P a few times, or whatever E, I guess it is, in Legacy of the Void hotkeys. I'm used to Heart of the Swarm hotkey setups, or I guess Brood War, but anyway, for Protoss, you can get these workers out a lot more quickly, take the lead over your Zerg opponent, and crush them. But you need an army, unfortunately. So here comes Forklifter, moving out with Roaches, with Hydras. This is a huge army. +2 missile attack and +1 ground carapace, +3 missile attack on the way. Oh, Forklifter doing good with the upgrades as well. Million cannons. Is it enough? The answer is no. This many Hydras can take out this many cannons without question. Photon overcharge. 1 pylon dies very quickly. The other one is going to die after getting a single kill. Possibly. Yep. Ends up dead there. All the cannons are depowered except for 1. Oh, how unfortunate. More Photon Overcharge coming up. They're not in range of anything yet, and this only lasts 11 seconds, so only Photon Overcharge your pylons once the army is actually in range for it to work. Mothership core explodes, unfortunately dying to all of these Hydralisks. Robotics facility and the Cybernetics core exploding. Kaboosh, kaboosh. The entire main base is getting ravaged by these Hydras. Again, nothing much in production while you're attacking. That's another sign of a Bronze Silver League player. A lot of money in the bank here for Forklifter. Not maxed out yet. Might as well be getting more Hydras and more Roaches. Possibly going for some Mutas. Maybe scouting around with your units, some Lings, trying to see where these bases are, because right now, he doesn't know where they are. He says, alright, I've killed the Protoss. Look at me. Da, 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 da. But guess what? You haven't won the game. The game has not said you're successful, which means there's another base out there somewhere, and at least another nexus. Because if you kill your opponent's last nexus, it says your opponent is being revealed. It will show you where all the remaining buildings are, even if they're in the fog of war. Even if they're like this, it will show you where they are, unless they have another nexus somewhere. And at that point, it doesn't show you where all those buildings are. It does not say your opponent is being revealed. Finally getting some adepts. Adepts do extra damage versus light units, but the upgrades are really good for these Hydras, and indeed, all the adepts end up dying. Yikes, 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 yikes. Sad move there for the adepts. A little bit late there. Adepts are a better early game unit if you're trying to harass a Zerg player. But for now, the Hydras take down yet another Nexus. All these probes are going to die as well. The DPS is just so heavy for Hydras. The counter here is the fact that they only have 80 hit points, so they die pretty quickly to most things. But in this case, where there is nothing really to attack them, it's 136 to 20 total supply. And then the Hydra can go ahead and crush, and that's it. LmpySpaceCat was defeated. Forklifter's victorious, and LmpySpaceCat has left the game. Although Forklifter has not left the game, he wants to kill all these buildings, and we'll go ahead and give him his due. He played pretty well this game. Resources lost tab here. Our Zerg player did lose 3,900 minerals and 900 gas. Wow. That's quite a bit to lose there. What was that? That was Hydras that died. These guys still running around. He did lose a spawning pool, 2 hatcheries, 4 spore crawlers. I guess that adds up. And all this gas too. But look at this. SpaceCat, 9,000 minerals, 2,000 gas lost in this game. And this unit's lost tab is huge. 3 nexus, a bunch of gateways, all those buildings died. And every single army unit created, all these void rays. The Phoenix got picked off. The double Oracle was killed as well. So that's it for our weekly edition of Into the Void. I hope you enjoyed yourself. I hope you learned a little bit too, because that's kind of the idea. But this has been Falcon Paladin with yet another weekly episode of Into the Void. Go ahead and hit that like button, hit the subscribe if you like what you saw and what you heard today. You can also catch me on Twitter and Facebook, both at /FalconPaladin. You can also check out my store. There's a link in the description. There are some new t-shirt designs, and if you have any ideas, you can put them in the comments below, and I will see if my t-shirt guy is willing to do them. So that's it for me, and until next time, as always, thanks for watching, and you take care of yourself.